Yo, 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 what is up, everybody? It's your boy, Real Good Doty, coming at y'all with another video this evening. Today, I got a very, very exciting, special topic for a lot of y'all. And today's topic is signs that you are in a toxic relationship. Now, I know myself, I've been in plenty of these toxic relationships, and I know you probably have been in some as well. But the signs of you being in a toxic relationship is manipulation. Manipulation is a tactic that somebody will use against you to get what they want out of you. It could be guilt tripping as well, making you feel some type of way just because you're not doing what they need. So you're going to have no choice but to most likely accommodate their needs. And it's not cool. Manipulation is very, very toxic because when you're with someone that's constantly manipulating you, it can make you doubt yourself, which will lead to depression, which will later lead to mental health issues that most likely you will need therapy for. It can also lead to anxiety as well. Anxiety is not fun. I battled from anxiety back in 2016 due to stress, because you can also be stressed from dealing with someone who manipulates you. Perfect example, I remember when I was dating one of my exes, and she had this modeling thing that she wanted to do that was for 8 in the morning downtown. Now, little did we know that there was a Halloween party the night before that started around 10 o'clock. So she had called me, told me, about the Halloween party, what time it starts, but also told me what time she needed to be at her modeling thing the next day. So I told her, like, okay, we'll go ahead, we'll stay to the party till 12:30. She wanted to stay till 1:30, and she automatically expected me to tag along with her to her modeling thing. And I'm just like, wait a minute. This is something that you signed up to do. Why should I have to wake up early to do something that you signed up to do? Because 9 times out of 10, if there's things that I have to do early in the morning, you're not going to go with me to do it. So why do I have to do that with you? And I expressed that to her, and she got defensive and tried to argue with me and this and that. But she manipulated me. She tried to guilt trip me to make me feel bad because she was irresponsible and scheduled that appointment early in the morning, knowing that the Halloween party was the night before. But she tried to manipulate me. And what ended up happening was just randomly her car ended up dying. So I had no choice but to take her. Okay, so I ended up taking her, and I had to end up picking her up too. But that was a sign of manipulation. Now, fellas, I know you probably had similar situations with your girl that tried to manipulate you. And what you need to do is you need to put your foot down. You cannot allow someone to manipulate you, because if they're able to manipulate you, they can control you. And they're going to fuck up your energy. And you don't need to be around those type of people, because I'm telling you, it's going to be a toll on you in the long run. So that is one sign of a toxic relationship. Another sign of toxic relationship is narcissism. Narcissism are many different traits. Gaslighting, pretty much gaslighting is making you feel guilty for something that you shouldn't. Projecting is pretty much someone telling you something based off their true intentions. So pretty much it could be someone telling you that you're a selfish person, right? When in reality, they're the selfish person, because they're always doing things for themselves, but never really for you. They're always looking out for themselves before you. They're not giving you the same type of energy and effort that you're giving to them. So they're projecting, saying, oh, well, you're selfish. Or they could be saying, oh, well, you're angry, when they're the one that's always angry. That's projection or gaslighting. For an example, gaslighting could be pretty much someone, can end up taking something from you without asking, and you call them out on it, and then they get defensive and saying, hey, I don't appreciate you coming at me like that. You know, what is mine is yours. That is gaslighting, because they're making you feel crazy for you setting boundaries. And that is another sign that you're in a toxic relationship, because you are with a narcissist. I myself, guys, have been in relationships with narcissistic people. And some narcissistic people don't even know that they're narcissistic. That's the crazy thing. It's like somewhat of a personality. It can be some of a personality disorder as well. But a lot of narcissist people, they don't get the help that they need. And they're literally bringing their toxic, negative energy onto you. So I highly recommend that you keep clear of the signs of being with a narcissist, and as soon as they show you their traits, nip that shit in the butt, call them out on it, and if they're not going to correct it, you need to go. Because I'm telling you, it is going to take a toll on your mental health, because I've had it to where I've needed therapy being with someone that's a narcissist. Someone who is abusive, that's another sign of toxicity in a relationship. Someone who's abusive can be physically, mentally, and emotionally. Physically, someone putting their hands on you, causing you harm. When they're upset, they hit on you. That is when you're in a toxic relationship. Because if you're in those type of relationships where someone is upset and they're hitting you, you have to defend yourself. And there could be a time where they might pick up a knife, they could pull a gun on you, they could start hitting on you, and you are going to have to defend yourself, to where you might end up doing something that could possibly change your life for the worst. Because they could trigger you after hitting you. Even though it's self-defense, you could end up hitting this person and possibly killing them. And then you'll go to jail. You don't need to be in those type of relationships. Or verbally, being with someone that's verbally abusive, cussing you out, calling you out your name, just breaking you down, just literally making you feel the lowest of the low, just insult after insult. That's another sign of being in a toxic relationship, because that will take a toll on your mental health. Someone constantly breaking you down, saying things to you that really cuts deep. You know, I, for an example, dated this one girl. This was in 2019. And no, 2020, my bad, 2020. And we ended up going to Houston to visit her dad and his girlfriend. And we just got done eating. And she was a little tipsy, so I ended up driving. You know, and just the whole time she was, saying, turn here, just, flat out being annoying. And we get back to the hotel, and she wanted to go straight to bed. I wanted to watch a little TV. But eventually I got tired, and I was trying to find the remote. And I couldn't find it, and it was right by her foot. And I was just like, I said something like, are you serious? You really couldn't just like, lift your foot up? But anyway, she started just being rude, started arguing, and then she said something that was very disrespectful about my daughter. And I ended up getting mad, and I cussed at her. And pretty much like we were going to break up. But she was someone that would constantly cut deep. She would say some of the worst, most hurtful things to me. And that, still to this day, cuts deep with me. And it's something that I put up with that I shouldn't have put up with. So that's another example of being in a toxic relationship, because deep down she was hurting inside. She has a lot of trauma that she wasn't dealing with, within herself. So usually toxic people are the type of people that are hurting, so therefore they're going to take their hurt out on you. So lesson learned, don't deal with type of people that are going to be verbally abusive, because it will mess you up, it'll mess up your mental health, and most likely you will need to seek therapy. And another sign of being in a toxic relationship is, and this is crazy, if people who have lost loved ones. and I know this is going to be controversial for a lot of y'all. Usually the ones who have lost loved ones, who have not sought the help that they need, are going to be toxic. They're going to be constantly angry, constantly hurting. They're going to see that you still got your loved ones in your life, and they don't. I know that one of my exes that I was with, grandma passed. I was there for her. Pretty much was at the funeral. And after, funeral weeks gone by, she was still crying. And I recommended getting Jesus, recommend her getting Jesus, to help her out with it. She got offensive, started yelling, and we started arguing. But right there, that was toxic because I'm like, this person is really getting mad at me for trying to suggest them getting closer to Jesus to help them get through their traumatic event. That shit is crazy. Like, this is wild. Like, why would this person get mad at me for that? Like, you would think that they would want me to suggest a solution to help them get through their pain. You know what I'm saying? But obviously she didn't want to. And the people who don't seek help are toxic because they're still hurting. They're not happy. So I recommend, guys, don't invest your energy into someone that has not dealt with their issues, because it will lead to toxicity in your relationship, and it will be very draining for you. And most likely, once again, you will need some type of therapy if you're not mentally tough enough to be able to deal with that stuff without therapy. And then the last sign is someone that's always going against the grain. Someone that's always going against you, that's not on your team. It could be you, having a bad day and them being like, well, why did you do that? Why did you do this? Or it could talk about you, having an idea on what you want to do to start your business, and they make you kind of doubt yourself, or they kind of question your idea from a perspective of like, do you really know what you're doing type thing? Or, nah, that doesn't sound good. Those aren't the type of people that you want to be in a relationship with, because they're always going to be competing against you. They're not going to be competing with you. You don't need that. Someone that's always trying to argue with you about something. You don't need that. Someone that's always nitpicking at you for any little thing that you're doing. You don't need that. Someone that doesn't have any accountability. It's always on you. You don't need that. I'm telling you, fellas, I've been in those type of relationships. I've been in the type of relationships where it's like someone who's literally not even in shape trying to tell me what I need to do to get in shape. And I'm just looking at her like, are you fucking serious? Are you really going to tell me that what I'm doing is not helping me when clearly I'm in better shape than you? You know what I'm saying? Or are you really arguing me about this when you don't even know what the fuck it is that I'm talking about? Like, that's someone that's always going against the grain. Cut it out. Like, eliminate those people. Get out of those type of relationships. You don't need to be in those type of relationships with people that are always going against you, because they're not going to be on your team. And you don't need that. You need to be with someone that's going to be on your team, someone that's going to ride for you, someone that's going to have your back, it's going to be your greatest cheerleader. That's what you need. But anyways, guys, I'm signing off. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Leave a thumbs up. Drop a comment. Follow me on Instagram, realgood_Doty. Anyways, guys, I love y'all. Mwah.